foundation for commerce, e-commerce, and along with that, the integration back with the S4HANA in terms of all the various areas. We'll just talk about that. So when we talk about the SAP C4HANA, the backbone of which is Hybris, what it has is basically a core of it is the Commerce Cloud. So you have an e-commerce site where you can put all your products and catalogs and all the web content and run it like a e-commerce website where customers can come and do their transactions. And it's very similar to like Flipkart. What Flipkart has done by spending millions of dollars of their own development, SAP offers that kind of functionality using their e-commerce cloud solutions. Very, very rich in functionality. And the Commerce Cloud has also the versions which we call it as accelerators for various industries, because the e-commerce websites can be very different for a travel agency, or it can be very different for a telecom office, or for consumers. And so we have a lot of accelerators for insurance, for telecom, for travel, and things like that. So in addition to the overall e-commerce engine, there is a separate cloud available for customer data application, customer data cloud. Now these have really good innovations, because the demanding legal framework requires a lot of consent management with the consumers and customers. So you can see here, there is a lot of what we call it nowadays registration as a service. So right from the logging in customers using their multiple social IDs or their own data and their own preferences, and also opening up the portal to those customers for the self-service in terms of their consent management, agreeing to all the legal liabilities on both sides, etc. So this manages basically the customer data, both in terms of the basics as well as progressive registration as and when the data is collected, and also the integration with all the other social sites, for example Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. So that what we get as a central hub is the customer's data, and also complying with all the requirements of various legal frameworks like GDPR we are talking about. So GDPR adherence can be controlled from here. All the audits are available in terms of consent, etc. in customer data. Then all of this data, whether it's in commerce, where we have captured the customers' transactions and cloud data about the customers' preferences, all of that is largely used by the marketing cloud. And as we all know, marketing basically takes the total segment data, larger sources of data, segments them into various market segments, and based on the target group we create within those segments, we run the campaigns, marketing campaigns, whether it's an email or SMS, or even on the website. Whenever the consumer logs in, they're offered promotions, they're offered special deals, buy this and get that free. Those anything kind of can be configured. A lot of options are available as templates on the marketing cloud, and it also integrates the financials part in the marketing, where what is the budget allocated, how much we are spending, and each transaction of expenses are posted to the respective cost centers in the marketing, so that the planning can be done, and we can keep getting reports on the plan versus actuals on the marketing spend. And all of this has of course the products integrated, because you get the product catalog from the Commerce Cloud, and no need of it is maintained separately, but it is synchronized from the Commerce Cloud. So that's the way the product catalogs and their product details, attributes can be maintained here. And of course the pricing and promotions, all of that can also be in sync with the Commerce Cloud. So these are integrated clouds. Then coming to the sales cloud, generally many organizations have a direct sales force which is addressing the market directly. So right starting from their territories allocation to their contacts to their accounts, and which will have opportunities. Many of these opportunities would have come from the marketing campaigns providing them the leads. So once the salesperson gets the leads from the marketing campaigns from the marketing cloud, they're all integrated, because marketing is also getting a online feedback, and there are a lot of analytics available in terms of how the marketing campaigns are doing, because end of the day, the objective everybody has is to convert those leads into sales, which is the revenue figures, sales figures. So this sales also keeps updating transparently to marketing in terms of the progress, progress of the lead into opportunities, and they follow up opportunities. And then there are processes available for the target account management. You have a large account and you take a single opportunity and try to convert that. A lot of tools available for account, all the details, contact details, relationships of people within the accounts, the activities planned, the review, the predictive, opportunity. For example, there is a machine learning based engine in sales, which will predict the sales opportunity score, and based on that, you can take a decision. A lot of integration in terms of the external things like Google Map in terms of travel times and activities. They are integrated with the calendar, whether Office 365, etc. So all of that is in Sales Cloud. Of course, analytics is huge. All of them are my omni-channel, which means they offer the application on desktop as well as on mobile devices. In Sales Cloud, there used to be a very strong offline management also, which means that if salespeople are cut off from the online connection, they can still have their opportunities and sales and customers and products data available on their laptops. And you can also configure those offline, models in how much data you want, when do you want to synchronize, etc. And of course, service is a very generic thing, right from B2C to B2B customers can use the Service Cloud for, requesting their service issues. So managing the service requests, service orders being assigned to the field sales staff and field sales staff working on it. Especially, when we're talking about the skill requirement for a particular service call, that matching with the employees' skills, all that is done in Service Cloud. And then based on the actual service ticket or the order, what are the times spent, what are the expenses, what are the parts used, a lot of help available to the service technicians based on the product. And before all of this, even the self-service is available to the customer as well. You can configure that even before calling up or registering a service complaint on the cloud. Customers can look for their own self-service, where they can search for solutions, check the warranty status, etc. So end of the day, all of these modules are integrated with financials in the back end on S4HANA. So all the service technicians, invoices, time, material, travel expenses, all of them are booked, and there is an invoice generated from the S4HANA, and that once it is paid, the status is updated. So these are the kind of, and there's a lot of, again, machine learning based optimization in the field service, in the Service Cloud, where which call is allocated to which field engineer based on their skills, based on their availability, based on their travel distance from the customer location. So all of these are optimized by the machine learning, and system can suggest the scheduling of service calls. So, and I have not covered the full part. I've just covered the tip of the iceberg. There are a huge amount of features in each of these clouds. And one of the very high level, innovation which SAP has integrated with all of this operational data. Because what we were used to so far was that operational data of sales or service or commerce transactions, they were captured, but now SAP has something called experience data, which has come from its integration of Qualtrics surveys and feedbacks into the mainline processes. So at each stage of the transactions, SAP is trying to capture the feedback and surveys, which are very, very critical for being able to make sense out of various transactions, because just pure operational transactions many times don't have the experiences of the customers. So now we can have a combined analytics for experience as well as operational data, And because of that, the product name itself is getting changed from SAP C4HANA to SAP Customer Experience, SAP CX. So basically, I'm saying this modules have a lot of functionality, and all of them are integrated. And then there's a lot of cloud development, open tools available, where all of this functionality can be extended in terms of new fields, new tables, new process. And the extensions don't require necessarily the knowledge of ABAP. They can be done using very open languages, like for example, JavaScripts can be used for modifying the websites or creating any new user interfaces in web content management, etc. So with this kind of a background on the solution, I wanted to show you that basically end of the day, these are all processes. For example, C4C sales process has a lead to cash, and right from a marketing, identifying the database of sources, converting them to leads, hands over to sales, where they would use the leads to qualify the opportunities, and finally manage the quotations. Quotations have a very complex tool called CPQ, where we are saying not only quote. Before that, you want to check the configuration, pricing, and then quote. So, and there are versions of that. There are optimizations of that done by using machine learning. And finally, end result is the customer order, which is integrated with S4HANA in terms of the fulfillment and the invoicing and the collections. And all of this has to work using omni-channel, where we are saying that not only mobile and laptops and the pads, iPads, tablets have to be used, but also in terms of fulfillment, delivery may happen from another place, and the experience of a store. Maybe somebody says, I'll pick up the item from the store. In terms of pricing, we have to have integrated module from omni-channel to show a same pricing across all the channels. And same way, delivery, service management, any interaction with the customer, we should be able to see the service request pending, customer interaction with the social media about our product, about our company. All of that can be captured using the omni-channel fulfillments. Lastly, this is just a view of the screen in SAP C4C, where you can see just like the Salesforce user interfaces. Here also we have the columns on navigations of customers, accounts, contacts, individuals, people, visits, analytics, and running the sales campaigns from marketing, and the actual sales, where we are getting converted, the quotations, pricing, etc. So each of the details can be seen by the users. We can do a little bit of personalization by the users, and largely by the administrators. So administrators using their access rights can make a lot of changes in the processes, and they can make it very, very user friendly today. And then the developers can do the extension of the solutions, where not only creating a field, creating a new table, creating workflows, and authorizations, of course, are a very critical part of the solution. So broadly, this is what I wanted to cover in what is available in today's C4C solutions. And I would dive into more details once we have a larger session. And lastly, but not the least, many of these analytics and transactions are available not only on mobile, but also, in terms of a lot of intelligence which is built in, is available as a component, because it has a lot of machine learning, intelligence built in, and those components can be plugged in as we go along to make our sales automation just not automation, make our C4C solution not just the automation, but a very intelligent sales solutions. And this SAP, excuse me, this SAP treats it as a part of the intelligent enterprise, where the intelligent enterprise components can be plugged in to make the solution work much more efficient.